Alright, more small support for some decks that haven't been supported for a while, this time for Ominagruzio and Lianorn, and technically Magnolia too. So let's begin. In which we start off with Petit to Get, which is grade 1, okay, power and the skill is auto. When placed on rear guard from hand, choose a grade 3 Ominagruzio from your right deck, reveal it, and if your reveal card is either the Ominagruzio grade 3 or your Vanguard is Ominagruzio, cost, counterblast 1, search your deck for one trigger unit that is not over trigger, reveal it, put it to your hand, of course shuffle your deck. Now, the only reason why you would actually want to reveal the trigger for this deck is mainly because its playstyle of binding your triggers, and you must have different types of triggers bound. You also have the ability to bind from the drop zone and soul, so it does have its uses, although it doesn't bind directly, so that might be a bit of a hindrance, but it isn't too bad. And then we go to Whiteout Wiberus, which is a grade 1 with K power, and the skill is auto soul. When your at least grade 3 Ominagruzio is placed during the ride phase, if you do not have a copy of this card on a rear guard, cost soul blast 1 other than this card and call this to rear guard. You're gonna soul charge a lot, so this getting to soul isn't even too hard, even with Ominagruzio's skill itself, where you're just gonna put this to soul for the restand, so having an engine that could just call itself is just pretty nice. But the second skill makes it even better, where auto when put to soul from rear guard by the ability of your at least grade 3 Ominagruzio, choose one of your units, gives us 5k power in the end turn. And if your bind zone has at least 2 trigger types, costs, energy blast 3, draw a card. So yeah, superior call engine that can even give you bonuses by being sucked to soul, and since the deck doesn't really use energy, that extra draw is pretty nice. So good addition to Ominagruzio. And then next, Love Fortune Maiden Lily, which is grade 2 with 10 power, and the skill is Count Guardian. If you have at least a grade 3 Vanguard Lianorn, and if you have 1 or less grade 1 rear guards, this card gets shield plus 5k, but if you have at least 3 grade 1 or less, shield plus 10k instead. No point in really running this, especially since you don't have space for it. But the next card is a dual support, Honest Reduction Sincerete, which is a grade 1 with K power, and the skill is auto. When discarded from hand during your ride phase, choose a grade 3 Lianorn or a Magnolia from your right deck, reveal it, and if the revealed card happens to be either one of them, or if your grade 3 Vanguard happens to be one of them, cost soul blast 1 or energy blast 3 to draw a card. So basically for Lianorn and Magnolia, you now have the generic draw engine for in archetype, which I will have to say right now, they do need it because they do need a field presence, so it does kind of make sense. But the second skill is even better for both decks because act drop zone, if you have at least a grade 3 Vanguard Lianorn Magnolia, and your opponent's Vanguard is at least grade 3, cost, put this to the bottom deck and then choose one of your rear guards. The original power of the unit becomes 15k power in the end turn, but if you persona ride during the turn, original power becomes 20k instead. Higher base power is beneficial for both decks. In Magnolia's case, Magnolia gets back row attackers, so there's going to be a lot of solo attackers, so just having the higher base power is just very nice. As for Lianorn, you're just using them for boosting, so the higher base power for boosting is just also very nice. And since you do have technically mill for the deck, and this is also a discard fodder as well, that drop zone ability is just really good. So for both decks, good addition. And so that's it for the new support for Ominagruzio and Lianorn Magnolia. What do you guys think of it? Overall, there are just good support actually. Even Ominagruzio, a deck that barely really gets any support, actually got a pretty good upgrade here. But having Lianorn combined with Magnolia is a pretty huge surprise here. Even though Magnolia is expected to get support, combining with Lianorn was a little bit surprising, and the support card is just really good. So other than that, there's really not much to say, and see y'all next time.